Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy last week of the CrossFit Open. Time to partay. Get myself live on Instagram. Go live. Let's see. Good morning. I think I'm live. All right. Hey, Instagram fam. Just making sure I'm live. My cat's I'm warning y'all right now that my cat's being very rambunctious today. He's already looking for trouble. Look, I gotta stop him. You gotta get off the counter, dude. You're gonna drive me crazy. He just wants to find all the things to get into right now. He's being a little problem child. Happy Friday. It's the last day of the open. I'm here for some open tips today. How you guys doing? I'm just checking on YouTube and Facebook as well. Good morning, Craig. Good morning, Bruce. I'm on early this morning. It's the last week of the open, and I honestly did not sleep well last night. I woke up at I wake up between 4 and 4:30 every day, but today I woke up at 3:50. And when you wake up like 10 minutes early, it's like, do I go back to sleep or not? I tried, couldn't fall back asleep. So it is what it is. All right, we're getting after the last week of the open. So if you guys have questions or anything about the workout, thoughts on your own way of attacking the workout, and you want to pop them in the chat, either on Facebook or YouTube or on Instagram. As mentioned, I do have to kind of go back and forth toggling between the two tabs. So right now I've got the YouTube, Facebook one up, but I will go over to the Instagram one as well. So this workout, guys, we've got a little bit of a longer workout this week. I'm just going to kind of pull it up for my own reference. We're looking at 25 wall walks and then 25 barbell movements of different types and some rowing. And what I want to really start with on this one is there is one movement that you actually can significantly get more efficient at before you start this workout, and that is the wall walk. Unlike week 2, where you're probably, about where you're at in terms of your fitness and your skill level, where you were going to be able to get to, maybe you got your first bar muscle up. But for this one, if you can do wall walks, you can actually get significantly more efficient at them by just making a few changes. So if you're going to focus on any efficiency tips from any influencers today, people out there like Pam Gagnon, Justin from RX Gymnastics, I forget the guy's name from WOD Prep, some of the other training camps, really pay attention to the different tips they're putting out about wall walks. And what I will always remind people are a few things that have helped me is not to look at the floor, because when you look at your floor, it's going to keep you in that arched back position. So I think as I press up, I'm looking at the wall. And I also think about trying to get into into the tape line and back out to the tape line in as few steps as possible. And everybody's going to be at a different level. And this is where people are like, oh, wall walks are for short people. Well, no, they're actually really good for people with long arms. So if you have long arms and you use that to your advantage, you can get in and get out very quickly. So use your arm length and really trusting your, being able to shift your weight from side to side. Try and count in practice how many steps it takes you to get up and how many steps it takes you to get down, and try and stay consistent with that. So the wall walk is something you can get significantly better at. What I will say is if you're somewhat new to the wall walks, they are very fatiguing. So just know your limits. If you're starting to feel like it's really hard for you to get to that tape line, don't risk a failed rep by getting 3/4 of the way up and then coming back down. You're better off taking a rest before you go back up to that wall, again, if you're not very efficient at the wall walks. Let's talk about the overall approach to the workout, though. This workout has 100 calories of rowing in it for both men and women. And what I want you to think about doing in this workout is looking at, that's going to be like a pretty big chunk of your time. So as you're warming up today, also try and look at a manageable pace for you. That second row isn't going to be a paced row, but you should go into it with some kind of an idea of what a row felt like fresh. That first row is going to feel fresh. So really giving yourself an idea of like, how many calories per minute am I trying to achieve? If you averaged 10 calories per minute, that's 5 minutes. So right there, that's going to be 10 minutes on the rower if you're keeping 10 calories per minute. I think a good place for beginner CrossFitters is in that 10 to 12 range. Intermediate CrossFitters is probably in that 12 to 16 range. And this is fit females. Men go ahead and add two or three calories to each of these. And then for like the higher level athletes, they're looking at the 16 to 20 range per minute on those calories. So kind of knowing where you're at there and just kind of settling into a pace. You want to be able to come off the rower and get right back to work, which if I can pull it up the workout again, I was trying to pull it up really quick. Let me see if I can just get it pulled up because I think I want to make sure I have the order right. It goes into wall. Yes. So yes, you're going to come off the rower right back into wall walk. So you want to be able to come off the rower and get right back to work on the wall walks without feeling too fatigued. And from there, the workout really starts with the barbell. Okay. So like think about the first 5 wall walks are you've got your pace set on the rower. The second 5 wall walks, you're still going to feel pretty good. Now it's where the deadlift and the barbell comes into play. If you watch the announcement, these guys are moving with reckless abandon. They are not really caring about anything. They're just like, how fast can I get this done? For a lot of you guys, maybe these loads are a little bit harder for you. So trying to think about manageable sets. On the deadlift weight, if you can keep touch and go reps, touch and go on deadlifts is always going to be better than singles because you're not having to like dead stop every single rep. So I do recommend trying to keep at least maybe 3 to 5 reps for beginner, intermediate CrossFitters, just getting comfortable with that weight. If you're more advanced, maybe you're going sets of 5 to 10, looking at breaking it up into 2 or 3 sets. Again, you're back into the wall walks. You should kind of feel like your shoulders are getting a little bit of a break because the barbells, while they're going to fatigue your shoulders, it's not deliberate interference. It's not like you're doing push-ups into wall walks. So you should feel a little bit fresher on the wall walks. The cleans, I do think that this is one that fast singles can be really good at. You can keep moving. If you're good at touch and go here, the main thing is you don't want to be touch and going reps and then resting for long periods of time in the front rack because that will fatigue your shoulders, or taking a lot of time to pick the barbell back up. You know, if you're resting 30 seconds between your sets of 5, you probably could have done 5 reps of singles in that 30 seconds and not have had to rest that long. So keep yourself moving there. And then the snatches, obviously this is a lighter weight, the barbell weight. These weights are all meant to be somewhat light for the more elite athletes, moderate weight for most intermediate RX level athletes, and then a little bit heavier for more beginner level athletes. But you want to think on the snatches. I do think touch and go here is good. Trying to get at least maybe 5 to 7 reps touch and go if you can. If you have to do singles, whatever you have to do to keep yourself moving. Your last 5 wall walks, and then you're going into that final 50-calorie row. The final 50-calorie row is really where you can kind of see if you can shave off a few seconds. Like this is where you can pace it and be like, just be consistent and get a really good workout in, or you can be like, man, let's see what's left in the tank. You are not going to feel the same in the second 50-calorie row than you did in the first calorie row. Okay. So just knowing that it's going to hurt a little bit more. And it's really the second 50-calorie row is all about knowing your threshold on pain. And you don't want to go out feeling like you're going to die in the first 10 calories. Remembering if you're managing 15 to 16 calories a minute, you're going to be working for at least 3 to 4 minutes, right? 3 minutes or so. So just knowing that when you get back on the rower, don't think about, I just want to get this done. Think, okay, I've got about 3 minutes left of work. So what can I hold on to as a pace for the next 3 minutes? What kind of pain level can I sustain? What kind of threshold do I have for these final 3 to 4 minutes of this workout? Again, top level athletes, men are probably going to be pulling a little bit faster. They're looking at 2 to 3 minutes on that last final row. Ken Walters has a question. So I'm going to try a question here that no one has given a good answer to yet. Why is the deadlift for 55 plus 185, but 15 to 54 scaled as 135? All other weights are the same as 95 and 65. Is it a typo? I actually don't know the answer to the question. I would say I would double check on the scorecard and also on what you see on the website, because sometimes they might be off. I think last week there was a mistake on the scaled and the beginner or something like that. There was like one of the scaled said single unders, one of them said double unders. So and I'm still, this freaking website, the here we go, workouts. I'm still trying to navigate the app a little bit. So let me just take a look at what you're looking at here. So women, Let's see. I just wanted to see if they give me other age groups. It's so annoying. It's only even telling me like doesn't even give me the other ones. Let me just try and pull it up on the game's website, and I will see if I can find your answer to your question. Let's see. Okay, so for 55 plus men, 55 plus. And of course, I think I'm getting a cold. It's been coming on for 2 weeks now, and I think I'm finally getting it. All right, so 55 plus, it says 185, 95, 65. I guess I don't know what your question is. Why is the deadlift for 55 plus 185, but for 15 to 54 individuals scaled? Well, I would say maybe they just think that you're fitter. That's what I'm going to say. That's my suggestion. My thoughts is that the scaled is meant to be a little bit lighter. I think that you, as a master's athlete, if you're looking to make it to the next level, maybe they are looking to test you a little bit more than the scaled athletes is what I was thinking. I would have to actually look back and compare the scaled and your division from previous workouts as well to kind of get an idea how closely they are together. I'm going to be honest, I would not be comparing your age group and skill work and your workout to the scaled in a different division. I would just focus on what you're asked to be doing. I wouldn't actually tend to worry so much about that. And I wouldn't worry about age either. I would worry more about one being RX and one being scaled, because I believe the scaled for you is actually lighter. So for your division in the men, I believe your scaled division is lighter than the scaled men. No, let's see. Yeah, so the scaled men in your division is actually lighter than the scaled individuals. So I think it's just a matter of what CrossFit's looking to test. I think we often think that they're trying to do things based off of like, oh, well, these people are younger and scaled and these people are older in RX, when it's really they're probably looking at the demographic of the people that, they probably do have different people in different age groups that test similar workouts or capacities, and they know what people in your age group are capable of. I think that 185 for 55 plus for an RX workout is pretty manageable. So that is my opinion. So, all right, let me go over to Instagram, see if there's any other questions in there. I won't think I'm needing to worry about a second row. For some people, yeah, that's very true. Getting to the second row. So, and if that is you, let me look at what the 20-minute time cap. If you don't think you're going to get through the second row, that will change your strategy on that second row. Okay. When you get on that rower, if you have a minute left, you are pulling for dear life. You are like every calorie matters at that point. I think you can really, really, really look at this workout and breaking it down by minutes, right? If you can get 5 wall walks in a minute, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of work right there. If your 50 calories is paced at, we'll call it 12 to 15 calories a minute, 12, 24, so that's another 8 minutes. So yes, for Judy, for a lot of people, this one is going to be one where getting on that second rower is the goal and seeing how many calories you can get. If you can get there though, go after it. For others, it might be like getting to the snatches and seeing how many snatches you can get, which is also. So I guess looking at other ways to look at this workout is if you don't think you're going to finish it, it's really maximizing your ability to get to whatever part you want to be able to just go ham on, whether it's the last barbell, whether it's the last row, whether it's even getting to the cleans, whatever it is, go ahead and do that. And then obviously, knowing where you're at in your fitness journey, this is a workout where I think that doing it RX, you're still going to get a really good workout in because you're going to be working for 20 minutes. However, if you want to scale to kind of get the same intensity as the elites and you want to try and see what it feels like to kind of go like, for that 50 calorie row at the end, then doing the scaled version and just kind of using that as a gauge is also fine too. Like, I think that you can't go wrong by deciding to scale unless you want to continue to do, if your goal is like, I want to finish all of the open workouts RX and continue to finish it RX. Like, I do think that this is one where everybody should be able to do RX. Do you guys have any other questions on this one? Because this one's not a whole bunch. It's honestly, the main strategy today is really making sure that you're efficient on your wall walks, figuring out your pace in the rower. I always look at calories per hour. So make sure that your rower is set to where you can see the calories per hour in the big screen, and using that to kind of gauge where you want to be to get those calories done. And then the barbell is just about knowing where your strengths and your weaknesses lie, trying to really manage your rest time. And if you're doing fast singles, you're doing fast singles, trying to do touch and go on the deadlifts if you can. And then obviously just doing what you can on the snatches, whether it's touch and go, singles. And then, yeah, I mean, this one is really just motor. This one's just, I don't think he could have picked a harder workout for affiliates to have to deal with today. I mean, that's my only, I will say this. Let me give my final thoughts on this workout. I think it's a cool workout. I do think it's a really good test. I do love it as a test. However, I think that for affiliates, it's a nightmare. I think that this is an affiliate nightmare. Having to have rowers, having to have people that are going to want to be close to the wall, and having to figure out barbells and changing out weights or having different barbells set up. The time being 20 minutes, it's definitely not a very good workout for affiliate owners to have to strategize unless you have a lot of people and a lot of equipment. Like, best case scenario is you have lanes set up with barbells already and scaled in RX, and you're like just going through that, but that's just not going to be every gym, So I think this one is definitely going to be one that affiliate owners are going to have a little bit of a harder time, kind of getting through, but it's the last one, So if you're an affiliate owner out there, really just know that, I was talking to an affiliate owner about this yesterday. Maybe it was Wednesday. It's like, this is the time of year. It's kind of like CrossFit Christmas, right? A lot of you guys don't spend a lot of time emphasizing specific movements, or, you do CrossFit every day, but now it's like the time of year where like all of a sudden it matters. So you kind of like put the extra work in, and that's okay. It's okay to like go a little harder and do things a little bit differently right now, because, it is your time of year where you can play around with different strategies. So be okay with that. And if you're an affiliate owner, just remember that. Like, I know it's super frustrating. It's a lot of moving parts and setup and all the, the open stuff, the Friday night lights and the events. It's just, but it's all worth it because it's all over after this weekend, and then we won't see it again for another year. So go into it, have some fun, like do the best you can, support each other. Instagram, do you guys have any other questions or anything? I was just kind of curious if anybody has anything else before I sign off. I feel like that's it. I don't have much else to talk about with this one. So I guess I'll just put a final plug out there, guys. It's the last week of the Open. Obviously, y'all might have some celebration food, but just so y'all know, next week, I am going to be hosting a fat loss masterclass. I really didn't know what else to call it because that is what it's going to be geared towards. I know that for a lot of people, myself included, I kind of see fat loss as this like temporary thing that we're chasing, not a permanent thing we're chasing. And that's why I always will correct people. I'm like, no, your goal isn't to lose fat. Your goal is to live leaner. Like, your goal is you want to live in a body that you are confident in. So it is a fat loss masterclass. It is going down next Thursday. I do really love working with people in the CrossFit community because that tends to be a very hard population. Y'all have very different lifestyles out of CrossFit. Y'all don't know how to fuel CrossFit right. It's why sometimes you deal with a lot of, hunger and cravings. You try and, drop your calories, and then your workouts suck and all that stuff. So I really want to be able to help a lot of you guys out there. So if you are somebody that's finishing up the Open and you're also like, man, I really would like to look good naked and it's getting ready for summer season, this might be a good masterclass for you. It's free. It's going down next Thursday. If you register and you can't make it live, which obviously live is always awesome because you guys can interact with me and talk to me. But if you can't make it live, everybody that registers is also going to get the replay. So you'll get the replay as well if you wanted to watch it afterwards. And hopefully it will give you some direction. And I am going to give you guys some things to kind of really focus on and all that kinds of stuff going into a little bit of a 12-week fat loss phase if you're looking to kind of do that. So I guess that's the last thing I'll touch on. If you guys need me, you know where to find me. Good luck in the last week of the Open, and I will talk to y'all soon.